Our national parks represent America's natural treasures, preserving breathtaking landscapes and diverse ecosystems for future generations. These vast wilderness areas attract millions of visitors annually who seek connection with nature and respite from urban life. Yet beneath this serene facade lurks a darker narrative. Persistent accounts of supernatural creatures, specifically werewolves and dogmen, which have become embedded in the folklore surrounding these protected lands. Werewolves have captivated human imagination for centuries, appearing in the mythology of cultures worldwide as humans capable of transforming into wolf-like creatures. Traditional European folklore typically depicts werewolves as ordinary people cursed to transform during the full moon, becoming savage beasts driven by primal hunger and bloodlust. The transformation is often portrayed as painful and unwilling, with the human consciousness suppressed by the wolf's ferocity during the metamorphosis. Historical accounts from medieval Europe describe werewolves as fearsome predators responsible for livestock killings, disappearances, and violent attacks on isolated communities. The modern conception of werewolves has evolved through literature, film, and television, creating a complex mythology that often portrays these creatures as victims of their condition rather than willing monsters. Some contemporary interpretations suggest werewolves maintain aspects of human intelligence while transformed, experiencing internal conflict between human morality and bestial instinct. Physical characteristics typically include increased size and strength, bipedal stance combined with wolf-like features, elongated limbs, sharp claws, and enhanced senses that make them formidable nocturnal hunters. The werewolf's howl has become an iconic element of their mythology, serving as both a warning and a way to communicate with others of their kind. Dogmen represent a more recent addition to American folklore, distinct from traditional werewolf legends despite sharing some similarities. Unlike werewolves, dogmen are typically described as permanently existing in their hybrid form rather than transforming between human and canine states. Witnesses describe these creatures as standing between 6 and 8 feet tall, with canine heads featuring elongated snouts, pointed ears, and intimidating fangs. Their bodies present an unsettling combination of human and wolf characteristics: muscular torso, arms with opposable thumbs ending in claws, and digitigrade legs similar to a wolf's hind limbs. First popularized after the Gable film incidents and the Beast of Bray Road sightings in Wisconsin during the late 20th century, dogman reports have spread across the Midwest and beyond. These creatures are frequently described as displaying unnaturally intelligent behavior, sometimes observing humans from a distance rather than immediately attacking. Their movements combine the speed and agility of wolves with human-like cunning, making them particularly threatening to those who encounter them in isolated areas. Unlike traditional werewolves associated with European folklore, dogmen appear more connected to Native American legends of skinwalkers and other supernatural shapeshifters indigenous to North America. National parks, with their vast expanses of wilderness and remote locations, have become hotspots for alleged werewolf and dogmen encounters. Yellowstone National Park has accumulated numerous reports over decades, with visitors describing wolf-like creatures walking upright through dense forest areas, particularly around thermal features where mist provides natural concealment. Hikers in Olympic National Park have reported nocturnal encounters with massive canine creatures that stood on hind legs before disappearing into the temperate rainforest. Great Smoky Mountains National Park, with its ancient forests and deep hollows, has generated accounts of dogman sightings near abandoned settlements and along less traveled trails where witnesses describe feeling watched before glimpsing unnaturally large, upright wolf-like figures. The patterns of these sightings often follow similar trajectories. They typically occur at dawn or dusk in areas away from heavily trafficked tourist destinations. Witnesses frequently report an overwhelming sense of dread preceding visual contact, suggesting these creatures may emit some form of psychological effect on humans nearby. Photographic evidence remains scarce and often inconclusive, consisting mainly of blurry images capturing dark figures at forest edges. Park rangers and officials generally avoid publicly addressing these reports, though unofficial accounts suggest internal documentation of unusual animal sightings exists within park management systems. The disappearances that occur within national parks have fueled speculation about supernatural predators lurking in these wilderness areas. The National Park Service records hundreds of missing persons cases annually, with many remaining unsolved despite extensive search operations. Clusters of disappearances in specific regions, such as the missing 411 cases documented by former police detective David Paulides, exhibit unusual patterns that some connect to predatory cryptids. These cases often share perplexing elements: missing persons who vanish without trace despite being experienced outdoors people, disappearances in areas previously searched, and occasional discoveries of bodies in seemingly inaccessible locations or with unexplained physical conditions. Critics argue against supernatural explanations, pointing to more plausible causes for wilderness disappearances, including accidental falls, exposure to elements, wildlife attacks from known species, or individuals becoming disoriented in unfamiliar terrain. Some even blame satanic cults. However, proponents of cryptid theories note that conventional explanations struggle to account for certain cases where tracking dogs refuse to follow scents, personal belongings appear neatly arranged at abandoned campsites, or witnesses report unusual animal sounds preceding disappearances. The remote nature of these incidents, combined with the vastness of national parks, creates perfect conditions for mysterious occurrences that resist definitive explanation. Various theories attempt to explain the persistent reports of werewolves and dogmen in national parks, ranging from scientific speculation to supernatural hypotheses. Biological theories suggest these sightings might represent undiscovered species of large canids or primates that have evolved to fill ecological niches in remote areas, perhaps developing unusual adaptations for bipedal movement. Some people think these werewolf sightings are actually Bigfoot encounters. Psychological explanations focus on the human tendency toward pareidolia, seeing meaningful patterns in ambiguous stimuli, combined with the heightened state of alertness experienced in wilderness settings. These factors could cause hikers to misinterpret glimpses of conventional wildlife or natural formations, especially in low-light conditions or during moments of stress. More fringe theories propose interdimensional origins, suggesting these creatures may traverse between parallel realities, explaining their ability to appear and disappear with little trace. Some cryptozoologists connect dogman sightings to Native American spiritual beliefs about guardian entities protecting sacred lands from human intrusion. The areas designated as national parks often hold spiritual significance to indigenous peoples, potentially creating overlap between protected lands and spiritually active zones according to these perspectives. Government conspiracy theories suggest park authorities might acknowledge these creatures' existence while maintaining public denial to prevent panic and protect tourism revenue. The legends of werewolves and dogmen haunt America's national parks as persistent shadows lurking at the boundaries between documented reality and folklore. Whether these accounts represent genuine encounters with unknown species, psychological projections born from wilderness isolation, or cultural narratives that help us process the inherent dangers of wild places remains unresolved. Perhaps the enduring appeal of these stories speaks to something deeper in human psychology, our ambivalent relationship with wilderness as both sanctuary and threat, and our recognition that despite centuries of scientific advancement, nature still harbors mysteries beyond our understanding. As millions continue to visit national parks each year, the vast expanses of protected wilderness will undoubtedly generate new chapters in this ongoing American mythology, reminding us that in the most remote corners of our natural heritage, the line between the explained and unexplained remains tantalizingly thin.